Hey guys, I'm Talia from Work Week Lunch, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own homemade veggie broth from scratch. And you probably have all these ingredients already, so after you watch this, you can just go make it and never buy veggie broth again. So I usually buy this veggie broth, and it costs me about $3.99 per box. It has 32 ounces, and it usually lasts me about a week or 2 weeks, depending on how much I cook with it. And as you can see, it comes in a box, so this is kind of wasteful just as a box. You know, you throw this box out or you recycle it after. And I'm trying to cut down how much I waste, so I'm going to make my own in this jar. Also, other benefits of making your own are that you control all the ingredients, the flavors, there's no additives in your own at home. So I can go on and on about the benefits, but basically you're going to save a lot of money if you stop buying this and make it at home. So to make this veggie broth at home, you're going to need some stuff that you probably already have, but it's good to know ahead of time what you're going to need because it involves your cooking scraps. So I've been saving a bag of my veggie scraps in the freezer for the past couple weeks, and I've already made this veggie broth before, so I'm running a little low, but this is how much I have left. And I usually produce that this much in one cooking session because I cook a lot of food, as you can see in my other meal prep videos. But in here I have carrot scraps, broccoli stems, stems from kale and spinach, celery bits, onion bits, garlic peels, onion peels. So just like so many different random veggies you can throw in here, and I'll make a whole list below in the description of everything that you can freeze and use for stock. Not all veggies work, so just keep that in mind. But again, this only took me one cooking sesh to get this much. So I often get asked what to do with vegetables that are about to go bad in your fridge. You know that one bag of spinach that sits in the back of your fridge for a week and you've totally forgot to use it? You can throw that whole thing in the freezer and use it later for stock. So let's just say I had this onion for like a month. Onions last a long time. And it starts sprouting. I could just throw it in the freezer. I could use it in a stock later and it'll be totally fine. So this is a really good way to really get the most bang for your buck from your produce. While I'm holding this onion, I'm also going to throw in some fresh vegetables, a fresh onion, half of this, some celery sticks, and a fresh carrot. You don't have to do this, I'm just choosing to do it, just something else you can do with vegetables. Also, you can use fresh herbs like rosemary, thyme, basil, a bay leaf, kind of anything like that just to make your veggie broth have your own unique flavor. So just keep that in mind as you're shopping and thinking about what you need to reuse from your regular grocery hauls. By the way, if you are a cilantro and parsley addict like me, you could totally throw in your leftover parsley and cilantro in this stock. It'll make it taste amazing. And I mean, usually we only need like a cup or a fourth of a cup of those anyway. So I know I find myself with that leftover. And now that I know I can use it in veggie broth, I absolutely will. We are also going to use some spices. So I'm going to use salt to make it a little salty. I'm also using onion powder, oregano, and turmeric to get an orange color in my stock, my broth. I'm also going to throw in some sage and thyme. So I could throw in all these fresh herbs too if I had them, but this is just what I have on hand now. So go through your spice cabinet, see what you can find that will go well in this broth. So first up, I'm going to chop all these vegetables to go in the stock. We're going to start boiling the water and get this broth going. So I have 6 cups of water in here because I want to fill this jar with 3 cups of broth, and as it cooks the water will reduce, so that's why I'm doing 6 cups instead of just the 3 that I actually need. So we're gonna throw that in, get it going. You don't need oil or anything for this. You can just use the water. So now I'm going to throw in our chopped veggies. All of it. Look at that. All of it going in. No more tossing your scraps. And some of our scraps. I'm not going to use all this. I'm going to use, you really want to only need like 2 to 3 cups. This is still a lot. This is way more than 2 to 3 cups. So I'm not going to use all of it, but I'm going to use some of it. This chunk looks good. Alright, let's just start with that. And I'll keep filling this bag as I go. I can stick this right back in the freezer. Again, you don't have to thaw the veggies. You don't have to worry about it. You're not eating them. It's not like meat where you can't take it in and out of the freezer. So you're good if this gets a little defrosted and you want to put it back. So now that all my veggies are in water in the pot, I'm going to add some spices. So I don't measure my spices, but I'm going to add a very generous amount of salt. Like, this probably looks like a lot to you, but broth needs it. It needs that salty flavor, so I'm not too stressed about it. I'm also adding onion powder. Again, I don't measure, I eyeball it, but I'm probably putting in like 2 teaspoons per spice. Some turmeric, again for the color. Oregano, because I'm obsessed with oregano. Thyme, also obsessed with thyme. A lot of it. Whoa, that was a lot. And sage. Again, this is going to give your broth a flavor. You can customize this to whatever you want, which is kind of amazing. So I'm really excited. And now I'm going to stir it up and bring it to a boil. Then it will simmer uncovered for about 45 minutes to an hour. And we'll strain it, and that's it. It smells amazing. It smells like soup. It smells like a grandma's house. So I'm gonna now turn down the heat and let this simmer for another like 30 minutes or so. So you can see that the vegetables are a little discolored, and this is normal. They've pretty much cooked in this broth for the last 30 minutes, so that's why they look like that, but it's totally normal. So it's been 30 minutes and the broth is done cooking, so now we're gonna take out the vegetables and strain it and then transfer it to a jar. So first I'm going to scoop out the big pieces of vegetables with this, and what you can do with the leftover broth vegetables is you can compost them or throw them out. I'm going to throw mine out because I can't easily compost things, unfortunately, from where I live. So obviously if I could, I would, but I can't, so I won't. So I'm going to scoop out the big pieces, toss them, and then use this strainer over this bowl to get the liquid out and also any other remaining floating tiny bits. And then I'm going to pour it into this jar and let it cool before putting it in the fridge. So now I'm just removing some of these giant pieces of vegetables in this bowl, which I will then throw in the trash. Here are my scraps. Obviously there's a little broth in there. Maybe I'll try and strain it out, but I'm going to discard this. And now I'm going to strain. So this is a big operation. When I did this yesterday, I had my boyfriend helping me, so I'm going to see if I could do this with like one. Yeah, like this. Alright. So that got out all the little pieces. So look at the color of this broth. The reason why it's so dark is because I actually didn't use that much water. Remember we're only going to fill up this jar. So if you wanted a different color, you know, you could use different spices, and obviously more water would yield a clearer broth. So I'm just going to pour it slowly and carefully in this jar. I'm going to let it cool before I put it in the fridge, and it'll sit in this jar for like 1 to 2 weeks. And you can see there's kind of some dirt in there. I'm not getting that in there, obviously. And maybe it's just the spices, but I'm gonna let that sit. So there is the stock, the broth. You can't make veggie stock, only broth. Here it is. So what you can do with this is let it sit in your fridge for 1 to 2 weeks, or you can freeze it for up to 6 months. Alright, so here's my broth. It's really hot, that's why I'm holding it with a towel. But I'm going to use this and I could use this in soups, curries, sauces, cooking quinoa or rice to add more flavor. I mean, broth is an extremely versatile ingredient and it's great for meal prep. Again, you can freeze this. This is awesome because I no longer have to buy this. I mean, I know it's only $4 a pop, but that does actually matter in the long run. And I get to reuse things that I would otherwise have just thrown out. So I'm reducing my food waste and also reusing my food waste. And I'm also not having to buy this anymore. So this is really a win-win for everyone, especially you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you try this at home, and if you do, let me know in the comments how it went. Also, if you are a veggie stock connoisseur, I'd love to hear your suggestions and feedback in the comments, because there are many people out there who've been doing this way longer than me and know more than me. So I appreciate you adding to the conversation and making our stock and broth even better. If you like this, please subscribe, leave me a thumbs up or a comment. I would love to invite you back to my channel to watch more meal prep and cooking videos, so I'll see you next time.